Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 70. I'm so delighted to be here with you in this new year. Yes, here we are in 2024. I know I took the last 2 weeks off, and it was so important for me to do so. I really needed that. And I used that time to really reflect on 2023 and heal and integrate. And obviously throughout the year we're healing and we're integrating, but having 2 weeks where I didn't have clients or teach classes was really important. I needed to do like a final integration, right, and really open up to receiving what the vision for 2024 is. Now, I've been getting it for months, but really these last 2 weeks it felt like 2 years really of up leveling, celebrating, grieving, everything rolled into one. So I'm delighted to be here with you whenever you are watching this. And to I know many of you have heard me say this in my blog or in social media posts, that my intention is for this year to be my best year yet, right? And my goal is that it's not just the best year yet for me, but for all of you, that we're taking this journey together. We're all on this journey to make this the best year yet. And so I really want to talk today about what does that mean and how is that connected to our extraordinary goals that I've been talking about, right? That's the first masterclass tomorrow. And that's really it's like untangling the ego's definition of what that means, because a lot of times we hear goals and we're like, we kind of cringe, or we go into hustle energy, or we hear phrases like the best year yet, and we might have some parts that are a little jaded, right, that are like, oh yeah, I've had that goal before, but you never know what's going to happen, and all this stuff. And so I really want to break that down and talk about what does this all mean through the lens of our soul. What am I talking about? And if you want to join me on this journey, I would love for you to come along. Because my medicine, part of my unique soul's medicine, that reminds me, I didn't even introduce myself. Did I? I don't even know. My name is Lisa Espinosa. I'm a spiritual career coach and priestess. And my service to humanity is to share my unique soul's medicine and help others to do the same through their life's work, through their career, of course, through their life. That's what I'm here for. So when I set the goal of having the best year yet, it's not just for me, it's for all of us to do it together. So before going any further, let's go ahead and open up the space. And I invite you to take a few cleansing breaths. And whether you're here live or watching the replay, just let yourself come back with your breath, right? Your breath is divine technology. Come back to your heart. Come back to this moment. And as you're here in this moment, take a moment to connect with the earth. Really visualize those roots of light going down your legs and out the bottoms of your feet, deep into the heart of the earth. Because we gather together to bring heaven on earth, to bring our soul's medicine to the earth. We're not gathering together to escape, to leave the earth. Yes, we will leave the earth at some point. But if you're here, and especially if you're here watching this transmission, then you said yes to the call of awakening, to the call of enlightenment, and to the call to share that with others through unconditional love. So we connect our roots into the earth to make sure that whatever blessings you receive today, whatever teachings you receive today, whatever remembrance you receive today, you actually integrate it into your life. You actually share it, not just with yourself, but your loved ones and the world. And so that's why we do that. And then as we connect with our heart, and maybe you bring your hands over to your heart, just let yourself receive your soul's unconditional love. So I welcome everybody's soul who is watching the replay or here live. I welcome your beautiful wise soul. I welcome all those divine beings, including our guardian angels and archangels and ascended master guides, who are here in unconditional love, as allies, as mentors, as guides, as friends. As we commit to sharing our medicine this year more than ever before, we welcome them all here. And of course, I just want to name beautiful Our Lady of Guadalupe, beautiful Kuan Yin, beautiful Mother Mary, Mary Magdalene, Isis, Hathor, so many Ascended Master Guides that are here. And we welcome the divine God source, particularly in, source cannot be contained in a box or a label, but part of my medicine I've realized is to really bring in God source as divine mother. So we welcome the divine mother here who loves us unconditionally. We welcome her love, her blessings as we begin this whole other year. I welcome her in this episode 70, initiating 2024. And with that, we bring the palms of our hands together and we bow to our own heart and to each other's heart. And we begin, we open this space with a namaste. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, Roxana, Jill, and anyone else who's here. Please share in the chat. I would love, love, love to know who is here. All right. So we're going to talk about having your best year yet and extraordinary goals. There's in my newsletter, a blog going out today called actually don't remember exactly what it's called, but it's basically your ego's goals versus your soul's goals. So first, about your best year yet. Now notice I say yet because we're not saying this is going to be the best one ever, right? Your soul is always guiding you to more light, more joy, more expansion, more transformation, right? But this year, 2024, I'm not going to go too much into numerology, that'd be a whole other class, but is a year 8, as many of you know. It's a year 8, and 8, right, is abundance, right? 8 is the infinity symbol. So there's a lot about, connecting to the divinity within us, connecting with the power of the infinite. It's also that like give and receive, give and receive, give and receive, right? This beautiful divine boomerang. So it's this year of really everything you've put, all the love you've put out into the world. And it doesn't mean you were perfect, because even though in reality we are perfect, we are humans that have an ego. So this isn't about perfectionism, but all the love you've put out in the world, some of it which you're aware of, some of which you've forgotten, some of which you maybe never even realized how you touched someone's life. All of that is coming back. It's coming back. It's coming back. It's coming back. Right? And everything you give, all of the commitment you have to leadership and service this year, it's coming back in acceleration. So that's what a year 8 is about. And there's so much, so much, so much more. But so the best year yet, hey, Maureen and Suzanne and anybody else who's here, doesn't mean, and I wrote this already, but I want to repeat it here. What it does not mean, sometimes it helps us to know first what something isn't before we know what it is. So that's a really important tool for you. If you're like, I don't know, for example, I was just talking to a client yesterday. She wasn't sure about what her goals were for 2024, her extraordinary goal. And I was like, well, what do you know it's not? And she could say that, well, it's not this, and it's not this, and it's not this, and it's not this. Those are my, So what does having your best year yet? What doesn't it mean? It does not mean that you're not going to have pain. Okay, having our best year yet doesn't mean that there won't be pain. It doesn't mean that we won't make mistakes. It doesn't mean that there won't be quote unquote failures. It doesn't mean that you won't disappoint yourself or disappoint others or feel disappointed. Those are all, it doesn't mean that you're not going to feel sad or you're never going to grieve, that you won't have those emotions that we tend to resist. We signed up for a human life, and until we ascend and awaken, that is just part of the journey. So please do not misunderstand when I say having our best year yet, that I'm saying it's just going to be like, all quote unquote positive emotions the whole year. But this is what it does mean, right? Because you might be like, well, why don't I want to have a best year yet then? Right? But what it does mean, it means that one, we're committing to following our soul's guidance, to following let's go beyond guidance, your soul's blueprint, your soul's vision for your life, and specifically this year for 2024. Now, if you're watching this in 2027, it applies for that year too. Okay. So your soul has a blueprint of what will bring you the most fulfillment, joy, bliss. What is the way that you are meant to share your service with the world, your leadership, your unique medicine? And so for me, saying this is the best year yet is like a whole other level of committing to making that blueprint a reality. And how do we do that? Well, in this blueprint, if you imagine, your soul handing you this beautiful plan, right? This is your plan for 2024. Now, the way our soul works, it doesn't give us all the details. As much as you've heard me speak of this, those of you who have been following my work for a while, as much as we think we want it and we want to know all the details, the truth is we would get so overwhelmed and paralyzed if we knew all the details, right? So your soul shows you a little bit at a time. But in the beginning of the year is there's a special portal, a special threshold, right? And it's this beautiful moment where we can receive what are those extraordinary goals our soul has for us. And I call them extraordinary, and I didn't realize this till I wrote that blog today, because they're out of the ordinary. Your ego can come up with goals, right? And there's nothing wrong with them. I'm not here to say the ego's evil or bad. The ego is just a program. But what is, and by the way, I want to say this before I forget, tomorrow is the first masterclass of 2024, right? This series this year is called Answering Your Inner Calling in 2024. And tomorrow is going to be all about setting your extraordinary goals. So this is a little taste of that. That's a free masterclass. I will put the link in the comments. If you're not signed up and you want to sign up and you want to join us, I would love for you to be there. So back to the soul. The ego's program is, there's three things, and I'm going to go into these more tomorrow. Well, maybe I won't share all three. That might be too much. But what I want to share is this. One is your ego's program is saying you are not enough. There's something wrong with you. You're not enough. And everything you're looking for is outside of you. That is the program of the ego. Think of a computer program. It's just the programming of the ego. That's how it's designed. Up to a point in our life that helps us, because it can help us to strive to get better, to improve ourselves, to overcome our limitations. And then there comes a point in the spiritual journey where you realize, wait a minute, this is like a never-ending story. And no matter how much I achieve, I still feel dissatisfied. I still feel like there's something wrong with me. I still compare and despair. I still judge myself. And that's when you start to realize there must be more. And that's when you start to realize, many of us, right, that, oh, I want to follow my soul's guidance. And your soul doesn't have that programming that you're not enough, that you're broken. Your soul has the truth, which is that you're already whole. Everything you need is already inside of you, and you're one with source. Okay? And so any goal that you come up with through your ego will ultimately never, ever, ever satisfy you. Even if in the moment it's amazing, even if you have a week or months where you're like, oh, but soon it won't feel like enough. Soon those old insecurities will come back. And so when I talk about choosing your extraordinary goal, I'm really saying listen to your soul and listen to what your soul is saying your extraordinary goals for this year are. Because when we do that, a couple of things. Your soul, first of all, would never guide you to choose a goal and not give you the support to reach it. Really take that in. There is no way your goal, whether it's an income goal, whether it's, finishing a book, whether it's losing weight or whatever it is, most of my clients are focused on, and you can have many extraordinary goals, right? But if you're focused on service and your career or your life's work, it might be that you want to have more clients this year, or you want to show up bolder, or you want to share your medicine in different ways, or whatever it is. Whatever the extraordinary goal is, it's going to stretch you. It's going to feel uncomfortable. But your soul would never ever lead you to set a goal and then leave you abandoned, like, all right, bye, good luck. No, your soul understands that you have an ego structure, that's what we signed up for when we agreed to lead a human life. And so all those old fears, and that's what we'll talk about tomorrow, of like, oh, but what if I don't reach it? Oh, I'm going to be embarrassed if I say this and then I don't reach it, or I'm going to just beat myself up. That's all coming from the ego. It's real, and real in the sense that it brings up real discomfort and pain and fear, but it's ultimately an illusion. And so your soul leads you to fulfill your purpose one extraordinary goal at a time. And what is extraordinary for you is unique to you. Really hear that. And that's what we're going to be delving in tomorrow when I share the teachings, and also when I lead a meditation. It's like, for you, maybe achieving a certain income is not extraordinary. You've mastered that. You totally know, okay, I could set this income goal. I've got it. Maybe for you, it would be something as radical, and for some people simple, as saying, you know what, this year I'm going to meditate every day, no matter what. For 10 minutes a day, at least, I'm going to have a meditation practice. For some of you, you might be like, that's so easy for me. I've been doing that for years, right? So there's no comparison. There's no judgment. Your soul will know exactly what your extraordinary goals are. And then understanding that it's the journey of achieving the goals that is the gold, that is the treasure. And I'm not saying that we're just doing this pretend so we don't achieve our goals. I have some extraordinary goals and I want to achieve them. But I've really, more than ever this year, have come to understand in my cells in a whole different way that it really is the journey. And I know we hear that over and over and over and over and over and over, but it's like I'm understanding it on such a level. I mean, last year was a challenging year for me. I've had other years that have been more challenging, that included a lot of crisis and trauma and drama and all of that. So it wasn't that kind of year, but it was hard. Even though there were a lot of beautiful things, I'm living in a different country now. It was a really hard year. It was a really hard year because almost from the beginning, I was in transition, right? It was like, I'm moving. Where am I moving? Where are we moving? Let's go try this. Let's go try that. Let's get rid of this. Let's get rid of that. Let's donate this. Let's sell that. Everything that brought me comfort and stability in my home was little by little released, not knowing where I was going to land. My parts were it was so much. It was really, and I'm so grateful for it, right? It was a growth year, a personal growth year for me, for sure. And it was just one of those years that was a huge initiation after initiation after initiation. And so stepping into this year, I could feel like kind of like this different energy where I'm ready for more service, right? To commit in a deeper way than I have before, or than I was able to last year. Even though I taught a lot of classes, had a lot of clients, it was, my bandwidth wasn't as wide because so much was taken with this massive relocation from one country to another, from one energy system to another, from, my chakras recalibrating. I mean, it was a whole thing. And I recognize that in my clients, many had similar years, maybe not with relocations, but like intense endings and grieving, and at the same time all these amazing miracles. So my dear, I really invite you to consider setting that intention that this year be your best year yet, the year where you commit to following your soul's guidance in a deeper way, the year where you commit to being uncomfortable, because your soul's always going to guide you to do something that makes you uncomfortable. Not painful, not suffering, not uncomfortable in the sense that it crosses some sort of boundary. That's not what I mean. But what I mean is, maybe, for example, your soul will guide you to teach a class in a different way, and that will feel uncomfortable. What if people judge me? What if people say this? What if nobody shows up? Or what if I speak up more and people laugh or nobody listens? Right? Or whatever it is. So that's the kind of discomfort I mean. And I'm signing up for this along with you, because even though I've practiced being uncomfortable many, I mean, all last year was uncomfortable in a lot of ways. I know that when I commit to more service, more leadership, I'm saying, okay, soul, I'm not going to let my attachment to my safety zone. This is what keeps me safe. This is what feels comfortable. So I'm just going to stay here. No, I'm saying, Mother Mary has really come forward and shared that this year is the year to come out of hiding. And next week, I'm going to have a Mother Mary, the first Mother Mary class of the year. And Mary Magdalene, who's going to be very big this year, is going to be joining us really specifically about that coming out of hiding. And I know for some of you that might feel like, oh, and for others of you, you might be like, I'm not hiding. Oh my gosh, I'm always putting myself out there. But this is a whole other level. There's a whole other level of coming out of hiding, of being seen, of being heard, of not, and when I say not censoring yourself, I don't mean being inappropriate or not professional or oversharing. That all comes from the ego mind. But I mean not watering down or diluting your message, but always being anchored in the compassion of your soul. This is not about hitting people over the head or convincing people. That's not again, that comes from the ego, right? I mean, think about ascended masters you admire, like Mother Mary, like Mary Magdalene, like Kuan Yin, like Jesus, like Babaji. They weren't hitting people over the head with their message. They weren't like, you better listen to me because I know what I'm saying, and if not, you're a bad person. There was none of that. There was just this like pristine sharing of truth. And people that couldn't handle it left or attacked them. But there were so many people that were fed that even if they didn't fully understand what they were saying, what Mother Mary was saying or Mary Magdalene was saying, they felt it in their heart. And that's what we're being called to do, all of us. To walk as ascended masters in training. And that's not coming from a place of arrogance. If any arrogance comes up, know that that's a part, have compassion for that part, and unblend from that part. And I will be going into all of those things this year. Because what really happens when you accept that you're an ascended master in training, or a bodhisattva in training, or a saintly being in training, or whatever, or priestess. I wouldn't say priestess in training, that's a whole other thing. But anyway, what really happens when we embrace that is great humility. We are humbled. We recognize, oh gosh, I'm here to bring compassion to the world, right? Anything I judge in others is some reflection of me. It's very humbling when we accept that. It's not at all a place of superiority or feeling that we're better than. That's the barometer of knowing if we're on the right path. And that isn't to say that there won't be moments that we experience arrogance or those feelings that come from the ego of feeling better than, but we catch them, we have compassion, we catch them and realize, wait, that's not me. And so I'm just delighted to start this new year with you. The transmissions are now going to be on same day, Wednesdays, but at 11 Central Standard Time, which in Mexico, it's always Central Standard Time. So my time will stay 11. I know some of you who are in different places, it'll change. There's going to be a little change in the title of these transmissions. Don't worry or panic. It's just a refinement of them. They will still be here weekly, free on YouTube Live and Facebook Live. There's some master classes that I am committed to teaching this year as well. Last year I started with them and I wasn't sure if I was going to continue to do them throughout the year. It was like a test. This year I'm starting it with such deep intention and commitment. And so there's that. And then there's also this awesome Facebook temple, this private Facebook temple that I'm offering for those of you who it resonates with. And I will talk about that tomorrow in the masterclass. It is a free private group. And honestly, my goal is not like I want 1,000 people in it. I mean, awesome if 1,000 people join, but I really had to talk to Mother Mary about this because part of me was like, I don't want to start a private Facebook group. But it was really coming forward. I got lots of synchronicities telling me that was the right step. And when I was sitting with Mother Mary and Mary Magdalene and Isis, I'm wearing my Isis pendant. I was really like, my prayer is that whoever joined, it's not so much about number of people joining as much as that it's people who it really resonates with. If it ends up being that it's 4 people the whole year, then it's 4 people the whole year. Like I'm literally totally okay with that. And there's other years where that wouldn't have been true, where I would have had attachment to like, no, I want it to be hundreds. But that was again coming from my ego, and I have compassion for myself. But so I will share the details of that tomorrow of who this group is for. And if you don't like Facebook, I'm sorry. It's just the best platform I can use right now. I mean, I'm actually not even going to go into not liking Facebook or whatever, because you know what? It's a free service. I know there's issues, but it has allowed me to connect with a lot of people. So I will share that in the masterclass tomorrow. It's from 12 to 1 o'clock Central Time. The replay will be available for a week, and I hope you join me. And so thank you everyone for being here. I'm going to pull just a couple of oracle cards, and then we will be done. And I'm just so delighted and thrilled to be here with you this year and to start it already in my new homeland of Mexico. It's my ancestral home, but I was born and raised in Chicago, okay, in Chicago in the United States. And Chicago will always have a special, special place in my heart, and I'm sure I will be visiting there this year. But this is my new home now, and I'm here. I'm here, and I'm rooted here. And so I have so much more capacity to, I know the Divine Mother plucked me out of Chicago and plucked me in here because she knew this is where you're going to be able to continue this next phase of your work. So thank you, Jill. Oh, I love that you love my outfit. It's this little store in the historic center here in Mexico, and yeah, they sell these amazing little things. I'm gonna wear the newest one I bought tomorrow. So, all right, so let's go ahead and pick a card, and then we will be done for today. No, I'm gonna pick 2. One is from the Soulful Women. Hello. Oh, thank you from France, and one is from the Unicorns. Both of these felt really important. Okay, so let's see. The Soulful Women, I've said this before, I feel like this oracle deck is like a postcard from your soul. So let's see what your soul has to say today. This first transmission of the year, right before the new moon, we're still here in this first month of 2024. What's the message? How perfect. Number 21, Soul's Journey. Living from soul opens me to the magic that exists when I surrender to divine manifestation on its own terms and timing. Soul's journey. This is so perfect because that is what we're talking about. Having the best year yet is living this, right? Living this. So here we go. And then we're going to do the unicorns. In a lot of spiritual traditions, the unicorns represent Christ consciousness, not Christ from religious doctrine, but Christ consciousness, right? They're these beautiful beings, that are here to remind us of that purity and innocence inside of us that has never been taken away, no matter what we've experienced, no matter what we've done, it's there, right? So let's see what these beautiful unicorns have to say. Here we go. Love it. Number 33. Oh, and the other one was number 21, by the way. Cosmic Sapphire. Act with honor and integrity. Speak your truth. Act with honor and integrity. Speak your truth. Look at that. What a perfect card for us, right? Speak your truth. That's part of coming out of hiding. All right. Thank you, everyone. Oh, thank you, Joe. Yes, one of my oldest daughter gave me these earrings. I love them with the triangles. Anyway, all right. Bye, everyone. I hope to see you tomorrow for the first masterclass of the year. I hope to see you next week, next Wednesday. It's January 17th at 12. It's the first Mother Mary class. That one is $33. Mary Magdalene is going to be the guest of honor, helping us to come out of hiding, to activate our diamond light. So I hope to see you there. And of course, the weekly priestess transmission and so much more. Ooh, that was the cards. Oh, that's so great, Joe. I love synchronicity. All right, bye everyone. See you soon.